America's mayor to a national embarrassment. If Rudy Giuliani was at rock bottom before today, he will go to bed tonight $148 million deeper in the hole. The phrase fall from grace is overused, but in this case, few have fallen further. He was the calming presence, the mayor that the nation watched walk through those clouds of dust on 9/11, the man who graced the cover of Time magazine as a, quote, tower of strength. He was once one of the most popular politicians in this country, at one point the leading candidate for the Republican presidential nomination in 2008. But these days, of course, you can now see it is a mere illusion of what he once was. Rudy Giuliani, not the same. An illusion of a once celebrated legal mind who marked the opening scene of Trump's post-2020 election spiral, the infamous press conference outside the Four Seasons. No, not the luxury hotel, the local landscaping company. The connection between his reputation and the fate of the former president became so intertwined that Giuliani stood in front of the soon-to-be mob on Capitol Hill on the ellipse on January 6, repeating election lie after election lie for a man who would later, and still at this moment, refuse to help pay his legal bills. Giuliani is now left paying that price all alone. Today, it got a lot higher. I want to bring in Andrew Kirtzman, who has covered Rudy Giuliani extensively for 3 decades and is the author of a very timely book, Giuliani, The Rise and Tragic Fall of America's Mayor. And Andrew, I mean, it's just hard to kind of put into perspective just how far of a fall from grace we are truly witnessing. Do you think Giuliani, based on how you saw him coming out of court today, has any grasp of that?
You know, if Giuliani were an introspective person, which he is not, he would be asking himself tonight about some of the choices he made. Beginning with his extraordinary fame after September 11th, when he was more popular than the Pope, according to polls, when he was making astonishing amounts of money cashing in on his fame, when he ran for president and was the front runner for an entire year before that race happened. What was the choice he made after he lost that race, after he had to leave that race in humiliation, having just accumulated just one delegate? His choice was to align himself with Donald Trump. Every humiliation he's had since then, every disaster that Rudy Giuliani has had since then, the fact that he is now headed for bankruptcy, the fact that he is a national laughingstock, the fact that he's headed towards a criminal trial that could lead him to jail, it's all traceable to choices Rudy Giuliani made, and particularly the choice he made to align himself with Donald Trump. And if Giuliani were, honest with himself tonight, he'd be wondering, why did I do it?
When I covered the White House and Giuliani was often there, we'd run into him, coming back from the cameras to the briefing room. One thing that I heard from a lot of people was that he was very isolated. A lot of people in the White House didn't want to hang out with him. I mean, he was then the way he is now. Does he have friends? Does he have anyone who can sit him down and talk to him? Or is he just so far past that point?
When I covered Giuliani way back at City Hall in the 1990s, he had so many loyalists, so many who would do anything for him. And I was speaking to one of his old City Hall aides today, and she told me, I used to be so proud to say that I worked for Rudy Giuliani, and now I don't even tell people I work for him. They're apologizing that they ever worked for Rudy Giuliani. He's extremely isolated, as you say. He has got 1 or 2 kind of diehard loyalists who have stuck with him. But all of the people who he's been close with over his career, the prosecutors, the City Hall aides, family members, all of the people who were kind of part of the cult of Rudy Giuliani, they've fallen by the wayside. He is very, very much alone.
Andrew Kirtzman, I mean, your book could not be more relevant than at this moment. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Speaking of people who worked closely